And we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome. So exciting to be here with you again, Alexandra.
Nice to see you as well. Our third of 3 parts, our final.
Part 3 on from strength to flow, right? We're talking about flow today.
Aliveness. Yes.
Movement as vitality, from function to flow. That's where we're at today. To expand our capacity for what fitness and strength in our women's bodies might mean, and to share our own secrets for moving in flow and not just moving mechanically, right? Yeah, this is the sweet stuff. So we're going to share our top secrets of how we get our clients basically to move past the grunt work of fitness and into a sense of beauty, aliveness, sensuality. And I'm joined here today by the Queen of Aliveness, Alex Howard, who is with us from Canada, from near Ottawa. Is that right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Excellent. And she's founder of Mind, Mood, Alive and the creator of the Zone of Aliveness. And we've been in conversation for a few episodes now. Hope you have checked out the replays if you're joining us for the first time today. And Alex, you can tell folks a bit about me.
Yeah, so Malaika is a very beautiful, what shall I call you? Just like a lover of movement. You've dedicated your life to movement. I love that about you. And you are you move in many different ways. Ballet dancer, contemporary dancer, a martial artist. You're also a researcher and university teacher and an author of 4 books. So, we've been having some beautiful conversations, and your 4 Minutes to Fabulous program is something that we're going to talk more about today. But I really, really love the principles of this program, and it's really in support of helping us women, us mothers, get closer to ourselves, to our bodies, feeling strong and connected and at home in these beautiful vessels that we inhabit. So I'm excited for today.
Yeah. And it's so important as women because as we spoke last week, women are looked at, we're seen, we're noticed, for better or worse, you could say, but let's embrace it and own that and, appreciate that also as mothers, we're setting an example and a tone for our kids and our family.
That's right.
So to embrace movement and to embrace vitality as an expression of our sensuality is, I think, a key to finding aliveness. To finding feminine aliveness. And, my journey as an athlete and as a dancer has often been about admiring the masculine capacities for strength and endurance. But my journey as a mother has been about accepting and honoring the beauty and the sensuality of femininity and the uniqueness of that. So,
and I think we both kind of share that similar journey in some ways, moving away from that sort of the masculine, that masculineness into this more softer and more beautiful, more expressive experience of movement. And so I'm excited. I thought, today would be fun to maybe kick off with a share on what we do in our own, in our own routines. What does your movement routine look like? And I'd love to know, what does your movement routine look like, and how do you stay out of just pure function and more into flow?
Great question. Well, I actually embraced function recently when I started studying functional fitness and functional strength. So I actually have learned to love functional fitness as a core practice, but really seeing that as something that supports my entire body in order to express and to have more fun. So my sort of modus operandi is, how can I have the most fun possible with my body in life? And an important part of that is not being injured or weak. being able to say, yeah, I'll hike up a mountain and carry my daughter, or yeah, we'll have a dance party right on the spot, or yes, whatever is being proposed, to be ready to accept the challenge. And core to that, I ended up developing a 4-minute movement routine that I could do anytime, anywhere. It doesn't even involve going down to the floor if your floor isn't clean. Mine often isn't. And it gets the entire body fit, strong, and mobile. So it gets all the major joints opening, and it really gets your heart rate up without being a high impact routine. It's squats based, because actually our strength is built. We are standing creatures, and our strength is built from the base up. So it's about developing strength in the feet and legs. Longevity is absolutely tied to leg strength, interestingly enough. So, and there's this whole story I talk about in my book, Movement Matters for Moms, the ultimate guide to prenatal and postnatal embodied fitness in 4 minutes a day. That's my book. It's available on Amazon. I talk about in my book how my husband was admiring the butts of these women who did these gym workouts. And I was like, hey, I don't think I have that kind of a butt. I have a dancer butt. And he was like, yeah, your butt's kind of more like a yoga butt. It's a little bit slim. And I was like, well, I want a good butt. And so I researched, and I decided to make squats my thing. I was like, I'm going to figure out squats. Well, dancers do squats all the time. They do pliés. It's like the foundational warm-up movement. So my routine is basically squats variations. And it takes 4 minutes, but there are other things. There are different layers to it. And if we have time, we'll get to some of that. But I also try to bounce or jump every day. It's super important for the fascia system of the body to connect it. I have my desk is actually on a trampoline here. But also just bouncing or jumping rope. I try to do that for a minute each day. And as much as possible, dance. My daughter is in love with Michael Jackson right now. She's 4 years old. She's always asking for Bad or Billie Jean or Smooth Criminal.
I like her style.
She's cool. Yeah. We kind of guide, but she's really into Michael Jackson.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're dancing to Michael Jackson a lot too. I love Footloose. That's a great one to Kenny Rogers' Footloose. Kenny Logan. Anyway, in the movie Footloose. That's a great one to shake to and to bounce to. And bouncing and jumping is one of the greatest things to boost your mood too. If you're feeling you just start simply with shaking, and it can move on up into jumping, because whenever you push down on the floor, it pushes back against you, and it kind of springs you up. So those things like shaking.
I'm shaking a little bit now.
Yeah. You can do it even with your hands where you are. It's really, you can do it evenly or unevenly.
Yeah. It's funny. Isn't it interesting how it's just this is such an available thing to do anytime, anywhere. And yet you say it and I'm like, oh yeah, let's shake around a bit.
A little bit of permission sometimes.
And I can feel it already. Actually, I can be like, oh yeah, that's that. It's breaking out of the rigidity, right? It's breaking out of that, you sit and you stare at a screen and you notice how you don't, we don't move. We're so sedentary. We sit and we literally could be in the same exact position for hours on end without noticing it.
Well, we have to rally against the tyranny of the screen.
Totally. And it's even just doing this now, I'm like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, for sure. Another really great one is rolling on the floor. So my studio is basically empty, and that's just, so that I can stretch out on the floor and just let the floor be a massage partner, if you like.
And just moving as the body feels, right?
Mm-hmm.
The body is wanting and needing. That's the other thing too. Sometimes we have so much, we think it has to look so structured, and there has to be a rep, and it has a certain amount of reps and all of this. And it's we don't remember, we forget that we can just move whatever way the body is asking.
Yeah. And my favorite bit of advice for when you want to explore that for yourself is to get horizontal.
Yeah.
Because often when we're vertical, our mind is kind of like got this head stacked on top. But as soon as you stretch out on the floor and you just kind of connect with the sense of gravity, like pulling on your body, already you drop into a different sense of hierarchy, if you like.
Yeah.
And really connecting also with where you feel the floor pressing against you and supporting you. So just hanging out on the floor for 10 minutes and rolling and hanging out where it feels good is one of the best improvised things you can do to like start to tune in a little bit. It can move into opening the hips, exploring your base. I call this exploring your base, and we can do it some in a bit with standing. But it's even like, just massaging where we are in contact with the chair or our feet, or it can be even just massaging the extremities in some way. So if you're sitting, this is a secret thing you can do if you're in a conversation, is just squeezing your wrists and kind of moving, spiraling around.
Yeah,
so our hands get so kind of messed up often just through lack of exploration.
Yeah.
So squeezing and moving inside that squeeze. And we're strengthening our grip as we do this, both sides. But it's a self-massage, and you can allow yourself to massage your hands through that. And it's a great way to start any kind of listening to the body session. It's a really nice one.
Yeah, I like that. This feels good as well.
Squeezing is one of, I have a chapter in my book called Sexercise. It's basically talking about how the principles of exploring our bodies, exploring pleasure and exploring extremes of sensation and extremes of breath or even positions are all things that we can bring into our intimacy practice as well. Because that's a really important part of our lives, to explore our physicality and explore our strength and to challenge ourselves as well. If we don't challenge ourselves, then
yeah, it's interesting in my work with my clients, how interesting it is that we lose access to our five senses, and we operate from our heads, right? That's largely, people come into my life when they have completely over-indexed on living from their heads, and to the exclusion of their bodies. They literally live from here up, and they have disconnected completely from their bodies. And so a good chunk of the work that I do, certainly at the beginning and the front end, is opening up the vault to the senses, to the five senses, right? So when you do the touch, it's like you touch, right? Even touching your own skin. Sometimes I work with couples and I have them come together, and all we do is just touch each other's skin for a moment. And we realize, like, and it's quite remarkable, the experience, and also eye contact, eyes, gaze, looking. Because sometimes, we're running around in our day, and we're not really looking, we're not really observing. We're scanning, we're alternating, we're here, we're there, we're everywhere, but we're not really landing our gaze and softening our gaze and spending time in with the gaze and just staying. And it gets really uncomfortable sometimes for people when they actually have to do that. But it's such a powerful, it's another thing that you can do, right? With working with your gaze and just softening the gaze and finding one point where you just stay in that, you just stay looking at that one thing, but soften the gaze. Because if you really pay attention to your eyes, they're so tight. There's so much tension in our eyes. And so, also like being able to do this as you so beautifully do, and rolling around and just softening the gaze, right? And allowing your eyes to also take a little break can have such a big impact and drop out of this obsession that we have with our minds.
Mm-hmm. Well, the eyes are the eyes are the brain, aren't they? That's the brain expressed externally.
Yeah,
So
I do.
Soften into the sockets of the eyes is a great instruction.
Yeah.
And also
eyes side to side too, right? Is just follow the eyes side to side. And you realize like, whoa, but not moving the head.
Oh.
Stop. So just just move it this way and just hang out on the side with your eyeballs. Just follow your index finger, and you'll realize that it's actually it feels like a workout because we don't move our eyeballs. Our eyeballs are very straight forward, and we look at the screen, and but there's a tension in our eyes, tension. So when you follow it and you hold it there, you'll notice almost sometimes you get a headache, you get a little bit of nausea, but it's also part of that dropping out, dropping in, and sort of reorienting, as you so beautifully do with the body as well in movement, right? Just getting out of those that rigidity that we move through our life. And so what else do you do, Malaika? What else is part of your movement routine?
Well, I love that you mentioned the eyes. I mean, with contact improvisation, we talk about peripheral vision.
Yeah.
So, I mean, on one level, just closing the eyes is brilliant.
Yeah.
Just to drop into the body, just take a moment to close the eyes, take a breath. And we can invite people to do this with us, just take a moment to allow the eyelids to close.
Yeah. And when you close them soft, notice, because sometimes you close your eyes, but there's a tension. You're closing your eyes.
Yeah, one of my teachers talks about closing your eyelids, which is a little bit of like a gentler effect that I find.
Yeah. And you drop the tensions. You drop the tensions, decontract tensions down into the ground. And that is, I work every day. I really love working with gaze. It makes a big difference as we work with gaze, and it's really interesting. We don't think about it. Gaze isn't something that is part of movement or our experience of movement, but our eyes are moving and darting and scanning and all day long.
We can be on a kind of hunter mode with our eyes, but we can also be in a receiving mode.
Yeah, and we're always
the peripheral vision is a bit more receiving, and also softening to the edges and sensing, and it opens up to the back space a little bit when you expand your peripheral vision. So there's something nice about that. Yeah. And when I invite people to soften their eyes or open their peripheral vision, it's also a really nice moment to feel the floor.
Yeah.
Feel our connection to the ground, to the support of the earth, wherever you are. For me, I feel that in my sit bones, in the the under surface of my shins. I'm sitting in a kind of a seiza, Japanese position now. And then I'm feeling that kind of stacking all the way through my body, and the sense of the weight is on the underside of my body as I sit. I'm noticing the layers of tissue and weight. So one of the instructions from Japanese martial arts is to put every body part in its proper place. Or a simplified version of that is feel your weight on the underside of your body. So if I lift my arm up and I've got tension in my shoulders, the weight is the energy is up here. But if I drop, I want the sense of the heavy part of my arm to be on the bottom.
Yeah. That has been single-handedly the most difficult, or the thing that I have to watch out for the most when I dance. So
The
my
shoulders.
dance instructor, my dance partner, he's forever like, because I have a tendency to do this. And so as you're speaking, I'm like, yep, I understand what you're saying, because it's down, right? It's not this, but I think I move through my life like this most of the time, right? And we do, because when we're in front of a computer and a screen, we're forward, right? Our shoulders are probably up, and we're
Hopefully not. Doesn't have to be that way, Alex.
No, a lot of us are. A lot of us are. That is how we come in, like, that is our experience. So this, I'm consistently reminding myself that it's like how you say, it's underside, right? It's down, and it is, and I really pay attention to that as I'm sitting even in front of a computer, or when I'm on the dance floor. But I often, he'll have to hold my shoulder back.
Yeah.
and sort of put it into place so that I can feel what that feels like.
I had a dance teacher, a ballet teacher, who said, "Diamonds on those collarbones, ladies. Show off the diamonds on your collarbones."
And what happens is then my chest lifts up, and I live, and I think a lot of us live with our chest compressed. And so when we open up our heart, our chest, like, it is a radically different experience of life moving through like that. And it almost, to be honest with you, for me, it almost feels a little bit like you genuinely feel like you're taking up more space. And it also feels quite revealing. Like, I think that's where my sensuality lives. Like, when I think about doing that and I open up my chest, and I can sort of allow, like, it's almost like I'm leading with this beautiful chest, and things are, I'm inviting in, right? There's a different feeling that comes when I do that. And it's quite, it can feel a little bit vulnerable for me. But I really like, I also feel like that's where my power lives.
Totally. My Aikido teacher would always say, well, the expression is mind forward, have a big feeling, right? The way he practices posture is like, you see a dear friend you haven't seen in 10 years, and you see them on the street, and you're like, hey, your arms go out.
Right?
Yeah, it's like that big kind of feeling. And he would teach us to greet our attackers like that, like, rather than like, "Ooh, I don't want to be attacked." You're like, "Hey, come on in, I'll show you the way to the floor."
Yes. But do you see or feel or know or understand that feeling of vulnerability? Like, does that, or maybe not, but for me, I just, it's something I have to get used to, because as a woman, for me, I don't think I've moved through my life like that, with chest forward, chest out, and with this big expression. And so it is a very different and consistent, continuous practice for me, where I have to consistently, like, as my dance teacher says, he says, boobs up, boobs up, boobs up. And I'm like, okay, boobs up, but like, think of, like, boobs up, really, like that. But that's how I have to practice, moving through. And I can even see it sometimes in a picture or something, like I'm collapsed in.
Right? Well, maybe I can address that, because I think one of the things I wanted to share with people today is how to stand, which is the same principle as how to sit. And I wouldn't necessarily start from the chest. I would really start from the feet. So if I may just share one of my top tips, which I teach, and I have a free workshop that people can sign up for if they go to my website, movementmatters.life. And it's an introduction to my 4 minutes to fabulous routine. And one of the things we do in the workshop is, well, after we shake out the hands, you can start by shaking out the hands, get kind of the blood moving a little bit. And we start
I would do this with you, but I don't have space right now. So
you can do a mini version, which is fun. And it's really just noticing that when we shake or bounce down, the earth presses us back up. And we kind of you can make this into a bit more of a warm up by shaking your hands in different directions, or even allowing it to send you up, right? So it turns into a full body kind of jumping. And this can go on for different amounts of time, or to music or whatever, and it's super fun. So I do this, about a minute a day. But the principle that we're getting to is how to stand. So if we're shaking and we slow down and we just gradually let that shaking kind of dissipate, where we want to end up with is our sense of the majority of the weight is in the fronts of the feet. Many, many people stand with their weight in the heels. And in order to stay coordinated, our chest has to collapse a little bit. But if we stand with the weight in the fronts of the feet, there's already an opening that happens there. And the second instruction that I ask people to do is, I would say 80% of the weight in the balls of the feet. The same principle when you're sitting. You don't want to sit back. You want to sit toward the front of your base. And then you can place your hand on top of your head. And you're going to press your palm away. You're actually growing taller, to the point where eventually, if you were to continue pressing, you would rise up. But if we're standing, we can do that. But then we can drop our heels down, but keep pressing into our head. So what that's actually doing is it's lengthening the waist. Because if we're not pressing into our head, this is shortening. Right. But if we are pressing into our head, we're actually shifting the weight to the fronts of the feet. And eventually, if we continue, we rise up. But we're not going to rise up necessarily. We could if we wanted to. But we're just going to notice that the majority is in the balls. The majority of the weight is in the balls of the feet. And this is like our standing practice. So we can, when our arms are relaxed by our sides, shoulders down, but the head is reaching and lifting. So at any point in the day, whether you're sitting or standing, you can use your hand if you want, just to press something away. And what that's doing also is it's integrating and lengthening your torso and strengthening your core. It's toning your core when you do that. You can even bring your pelvic floor into it. So you're like scooping and lifting the pelvic floor. So there's a secret pelvic floor rehab going on there too. But essentially you're lengthening your posture. You are taking up more space. And at the same time, you're coordinated. So in martial arts, if someone was to push you, if I needed to, I could step backward. But if my weight is in the heels of my feet when somebody pushes me, I would actually fall back in an uncoordinated way. So in order to move, we have to always start with the weight in the balls of the feet. So standing properly is number one. That's my top tip, if you like. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that. And I think it's overlooked, right? We don't ever think about how we're standing, but it's so important, it's so powerful. And I like because you're right, if we're in the back, we're not really in that, as my teacher says, in the field of gravity, right? Where you're just in that space of just being able to move wherever it is that you need to move. So I think
coordinated is the word.
I like the word coordinated. Yeah, absolutely.
So if you need to move, you're ready to move, but you're not caught off guard.
Yeah, you're not caught off guard. Yeah. No, and it's so interesting. Like these things are, they sound like obvious. I mean, we all stand, we all sit, we all do these things, and yet we don't really stop to think about how we're doing it. And how we're doing it is it's just so it's important, and it also impacts the experience that we're going to have. And as we do it over and over and over again, right? Because these are repetitive things that we're doing over and over and over again. So
in our day, if we think about it every, multiple times a day, it becomes a lifelong practice, an everyday practice of embodiment.
I agree.
It's not like, I go to exercise and then I'm thinking about it. No, you right now, lengthen, find your base, feel your base.
Exactly. And when
you breathe through your side ribs, right? We don't breathe like this. We breathe.
Yes. And when you do this over time, over and over again, it's just better. You feel better.
Yeah.
You look better. You engage. You relate better. Like everything improves. So these small things, I love that you pay attention to these basics, like really the foundations, the very core basics. And I think that is, to me, the functional part of it, right? Like I think you said at the beginning, the functional container. It's the container getting that like competent with the container, and then on top of that lives the expression. And
yeah, then you can have fun, because I mean, like one of the things that I love to do is after we connect with our bounce and the base of the feet, then you can start to explore
yes.
the surfaces of the feet, the curved surfaces of the feet through shifting your weight. It's like I'm massaging my feet, and I can, you do that lower or higher, and you can put on some music and stretch your arms away from that exploration. And just spend a bit of time like exploring even the tops of the feet, the insides, the outsides, and all of a sudden, so my hips are going, my knees, my shoulders, I'm spiraling, I'm opening.
I mean, that is coordinated. That is very coordinated.
Yeah, but it's through sensing. It's through sensing the roundness and the juiciness of the surfaces and these squishy layers that we have.
Sorry, that's my dog. That's probably our cue. Someone's at the door, and I think they want to come.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So, where can people find you, Malaika?
Yeah, so I've got a website, www.movementmatters.life. You can email me at Malaika at movementmatters.life. That's Malaika at movementmatters.life.
Great.
And I'm offering a special deal for people who have listened to this and resonate with it on some level. I'm offering a half off price for my course, 4 Minutes to Fabulous. It's a 28-day program with only 4 minutes a day videos that you follow. And by the end of the 28 days, you know every layer of the 4 Minutes to Fabulous routine. And we have a weekly live call. So we do Q&A, we practice together, you get to meet other women and moms who are benefiting. And it's a lot of fun. So that's a 6-month membership to the live calls. And it's normally at $400 US. So it'll be a $200 for people who email me and tell us something about this program that resonated with you for this conversation. And I'd love to see you.
Amazing. I hope everybody joins, because I know that it will make a humongous difference.
It'll make your butt look really good.
Yeah.
It'll make your entire body feel great again. You'll feel strong.
Yeah.
You have a routine that you can take with you for the rest of your life, right? Yeah. And yeah, it's like a base and a warm up for anything else you're going to do in the rest of your life. And it really does only take 4 minutes a day.
Yeah. Incredible. And a lot can happen in 4 minutes. So, and no, you are extraordinary in your knowledge, in your, application of this work. And, I just really appreciate you and all that you, all that you do and that and that you share. So I'm thankful for this series that we've had together. I think it's been really fun. And if you want to reach me, I am at Alexandra at mindmoodalive.com. And I'm here to help you move emotionally, move mentally, move from point A to point B in flowful ways, alive ways. If you're feeling tight and you're feeling like you need to expand in new, beautiful ways, I am here to support that. And I'm so thankful. Thank you, Malaika. It's been a joy to be here on this 3-part series with you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alex, for the invitation. This has been really fun. And I can't wait to hear people's takeaways. So please reach out to us, and really hope to see you all soon, somewhere, somehow, in movement and in vitality.
See you, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.